Most farmers ask the wrong question when starting out. Instead of what should I raise, the real question is what can I actually sell? That blind spot alone separates profitable homesteaders from frustrated ones sitting on unsold inventory. Today at the Profitable Homestead, we are breaking down every major type of chicken farming, what each earns, what each demands, and which one genuinely makes sense for where you are right now. If this is your first time here, do us a favor and subscribe so you never miss the kind of content that actually moves your farming forward. Laying hens are where most beginners land, and honestly, the logic makes sense. Eggs are one of the most universally consumed foods on the planet. Every household needs them, every single week, without exception. That consistent demand translates into something every small farmer desperately needs: daily cash flow. If you have 50 well-managed hens at peak production, you are collecting and selling eggs every morning. There is no waiting months for a return. The money comes in on a rolling basis, which makes budgeting and reinvestment far more manageable for someone just finding their footing. The management knowledge around laying hens is also deeply established. Commercial laying strains have been refined over decades specifically to produce high, consistent numbers. Feed programs, lighting schedules, housing requirements, all of this information is widely available and well tested. For a beginner, that accessibility is genuinely valuable. You are not navigating uncharted territory. That said, laying hens are not without their pressures. Feed is the single largest cost driver in any egg operation, and when feed prices climb, your profit margin shrinks fast with very little room to maneuver. Commercial layers also have a productive window. As they age, their output declines steadily, and replacing the flock is an ongoing cost that beginners frequently underestimate going in. The profit per egg is also relatively slim, which means volume matters. A small flock will cover household needs and maybe a few local sales, but serious income requires serious numbers. Broiler chickens operate on a completely different timeline. The biggest draw is speed. Modern commercial meat strains can reach market weight in a matter of weeks, which means you can cycle through a production round, recover your investment, and reinvest faster than almost any other farming model. For farmers who need quicker returns, that turnaround is genuinely appealing. The difficulty is that broilers eat a tremendous amount of feed relative to their production window, and feed is expensive. The profit margin per bird is often quite narrow, which pushes producers toward higher volumes to make the numbers work. Marketing is the other wall you hit quickly. Selling processed meat is logistically more complex than selling eggs. Depending on your region, there may be regulations around processing, limited local buyers, or real competition from commercial suppliers. Broilers can absolutely be profitable, but the path requires a reliable market lined up before the birds ever arrive. Without that, you are producing at a loss. From a daily management standpoint, broilers are actually relatively simple. You are primarily focused on feeding them efficiently and getting them to weight. There is not much complexity in the day-to-day work. The challenge is more strategic than practical. Now here is where things get genuinely interesting. Productive pure breeds, Rhode Island Reds, Plymouth Rocks, Australorp, Sussex, Leghorns, Welsumers, and others, open up a completely different earning model. These birds do not match commercial hybrids in raw egg numbers, but what they offer instead is flexibility. A well-managed flock of quality pure breeds gives you multiple income streams running simultaneously. You can sell table eggs to local buyers, fertile eggs to other breeders, day-old chicks, point-of-lay pullets, breeding roosters, and even surplus hens for meat. That diversity means you are never fully dependent on a single market or a single price. Pure breeds also reproduce naturally, which removes the constant dependence on outside hatcheries for flock replacement. Over time, you develop and refine your own breeding stock, which builds real long-term value into your operation. A small flock of quality birds, properly selected and marketed, can outperform hundreds of commercial layers or broilers on a per-bird profit basis. The investment of time and knowledge pays back in ways that purely commercial systems simply cannot match for small-scale producers. The learning curve is real, though. You need to understand basic genetics, practice careful selection to maintain quality, and avoid the productivity losses that come with inbreeding over time. Marketing fertile eggs and breeding stock also requires building a reputation and reaching the right buyers, which takes consistent effort. But for a homesteader willing to put in that groundwork, pure breeds represent one of the strongest long-term opportunities available. Ornamental poultry sit in their own category entirely. Breeds raised primarily for appearance, Brahmas, Silkies, Polish, Sebrights, and similar varieties, can command extraordinary prices. A single quality breeding pair can be worth more than an entire pen of commercial birds. The value per animal is genuinely impressive when you have the right buyer. The catch is that the market is niche. Ornamental poultry buyers are enthusiasts, hobbyists, and competitive breeders. That pool is smaller, more specialized, and requires more intentional marketing to reach. The birds themselves also demand careful attention to breed standards, feather condition, color, and conformation. It is a discipline as much as a farming practice. For someone who genuinely loves the craft and is willing to build within that niche community, ornamental birds can be highly profitable. For someone looking for volume-driven income, it is probably not the right entry point. Common backyard chickens with no defined breed deserve mention because they are often underestimated. These birds are extraordinarily hardy, brood naturally, raise their own chicks, and thrive on minimal inputs. For home consumption, small local sales, and learning the basics of flock management, they are excellent. Many homesteaders quietly earn consistent income selling backyard chicks and processed birds without the complexity of purebred programs. So which type of chicken farming makes the most money? The honest answer is that profit follows market fit, not bird type. The most productive broiler flock in the world generates nothing if there are no buyers. A handful of quality pure breed birds can generate serious income with the right audience. Research your local market first, understand what people in your area are already buying, and then choose the bird that fits that demand. That sequence, market first, birds second, is what actually builds a profitable homestead. If this breakdown helped you think more clearly about your operation, share it with a fellow farmer and make sure you are subscribed to the Profitable Homestead for more content built around real farming results.